Hey, everybody. Sorry, I'm late. You know how I am. I never shut up. Like, always talking. So, first off, welcome to Angel Meadows Conversation with Friends. I am Mama D, your host, and my guest tonight is, let's see if I can get this right, Corbie Mitleid. Um, okay, I'm going to read Corbie's bio, but Corbie is a certified professional tarot reader, certified psychic, trained medium, ordained minister. Her work is showcased in Robert Schwartz's breakthrough series, Your Soul's Plan and Your Soul's Gift, highlighting her ability to retrieve clients' past lives in detail. With over 40 years' experience, Corbie's abilities include spiritual intuitive counseling, past life retrieval and analysis, mediumship and spirit guide conferences. Corbie speaks and counsels at holistic expos, seminars, and workshops throughout Canada and the US, as well as one-on-one with clients worldwide. I have to get applause. Really, with the sound effects. So thank you for saying yes. And I know we spoke just a few weeks back, but that was on Gina's show.
Okay. We can play the same thing. And, what I'm first going to tell your audience is, yeah, all that bio is nice. I am not one of those psychics who thinks her aura don't stink. So please just, whatever questions you've got, throw them at us. Anything that you want to know about what a psychic does, how do I do what I do, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, because this is what this show is going to be about tonight. Because a lot of us, one of the things here, let's throw up Corbie's book. Let's see if I can get the right place. Did I put it in? Okay. This is the book, The Psychic Yellow Brick Road, How to Find a Real Wizard and Avoid the Flying Monkeys. Because I know a lot of us in the beginning, I didn't know how to find a psychic. I wasn't in there, and I was, and you just kind of come across a lot of special ones.
They're the ones that I refer to as Madam Hoo-Ha and Swami Swalanda. They're like not real.
Yay. So. Okay, quick hi to those people in the chat room. Diane, hi Eric, you made it. You stayed awake. Eric's over in the UK. He's sleepy now. And Ashley, there you are. Thanks for coming. Okay, so one thing you have, going to try and make this short, but it's going to be up to you. You have, when you're looking for a medium, a psychic, whatever, you have 7 simple rules. Mm-hmm. P for professionalism, S for sharing references, Y, you are in control of your own destiny, C, charges, I, inappropriate actions, and C, connections. And if everybody reads that one properly,
H stands for here. I can fix anything for a price. Basically, guys, it's a mnemonic. What's a mnemonic? Well, PTA stands for Parent Teacher Association. We all remember that from school.
Yes.
So I did the word psychic, and each one of those is one of the keys that will keep you safe when you're out there looking for intuitive guidance.
It's true. And is there, out of all of the psychic, and I forgot the H, sorry, is there the one thing that people should look at first?
Well, it's kind of in the order I did it. The first one is professionalism. Mm-hmm. Now, professionalism doesn't mean that they have to do it full time.
Yeah.
I've done it full time for years. Yes, but I have friends who are accountants or who run a dry cleaning service and they do it evenings and weekends. Are they professionals? Yes, they are. If they respect you as a client, they respect other psychics in the field, and they respect general social conventions. When you go for a reading, they're not going to meet you at the door in a bikini or a bathrobe. Okay?
Heck no. Don't be scary for some of us.
Yeah. It is important that you get references if you can.
Yeah.
Those of us who are professionals, we all have a half a dozen people in our pocket that say, yeah, give them my phone number. I'll tell them what's up. Because when you talk to, we can tell you we're wonderful and that doesn't count. But the people that will talk to you who are our clients, you find out, are we kind? Are we funny? Are we accurate? Do we have specialties? Do we charge reasonably? All the things you really can't ask a psychic because, of course, they're going to tell you all wonderful things.
Yes.
And it's important that you get more than one or two so you know that the psychic is not a one-trick pony. They don't say the same thing to somebody all the time. So
very true. In the chat room, I've been She's been in love with you since she saw you on the other show. Is my friend Ashley. Corbie, I had a short reading from you the other week on your monthly free reading. It has been spinning in my brain. You nailed it. The thoughts have played my mind for years. Confirmed so much for me. Thank you.
Ashley, I'm so pleased to hear that. But that's an example that sometimes you don't need to spend $62 bazillion to get an answer. Now,
Exactly.
not everybody is as fast. Frankly, I don't know anybody who's as fast as me. But when you read 1,200 people a year, year after year after year, it's like any muscle at the gym. It's very fast. But make sure that you're going to get the information that you need. Example, I've got a very, very expensive reading. It's a soul plane reading. It's $500 because you're getting 10 hours of my time.
Yeah.
But a soul plane reading is when you're constantly banging up against something and it's stopping your whole life. Why was I born in poverty? Why do I parent handicapped children? Why did I get cancer? Why am I blind? Why did my husband leave me? Whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
When it's just, I need to figure out what to do about a job, or does Bruce love me, which is 95% of what we get. That's quick.
Yeah.
That's quick. So that's one of the reasons I'm normally on Best Psychics directory if I don't have an appointment, because there you can get the quick 5-minute reading. Boom, done.
Now that's the place that if people want to catch you this evening, they can go to Best Psychic Directory and pop your name in there, and they will find you, and they can get a quick reading from you. I had it up there, but now, okay. If for some reason we lose power because there's now a storm starting out my window, I love storms, but today's not. Could you hold off an hour?
we had a rip snorter here. Thunder shook the house, and we got 3/4 of an inch of rain in a half an hour. So yeah. Got it.
Oh, is that a second? Again, Ashley, we need clean out your life closet in paperback form.
Ashley, darling,
Amazon.
I have tried. I truly have tried, but I have to get a Canadian distributor, and they were not interested because I'm not with Hay House or Llewellyn. Sorry about that. I may have one person. If you contact me privately, I do have somebody up in Canada who may have about a half a dozen copies of my book, and you can work with her. She can get one to you. She's in Kitchener.
That's not bad. That's not too far from us. Ashley, you connect with her. But also what you can do is I don't know if you can get it in PDF and then just print it out. Can you get it as a PDF file?
I have PDFs here, yes.
There you go.
Yes.
So you can print it out. We just pray that your printer doesn't run out of ink.
Yes.
Because I do that a lot. Okay. When you're going to a psychic, after you've checked everybody out and you've had all the references and you know that this is the person for you, a lot of people have difficulty, and I've been told, I didn't figure this out yet, there's a way to ask your question. Like if you're supposed to ask just one question, is there a way to format that you can tell people this is how you should format the question? Or just like, okay, am I going to fall in love? That kind of that's a little bit too general,
Well, actually, and you don't want to ask yes or no questions.
Okay.
Let's say that you ask, am I going to find the man of my dreams? The unscrupulous psychic is going to say, oh no, you have a karmic block and there's a hole in your aura, but I have a candle for $600 that you can burn at... Wrong answer. So what you want to do is you want to ask the empowering question. If you said to me, what do I need to know to really get the man of my dreams? Then what I would do is I would pull out one of my oracle decks that is specific for romance and relationships, and we'd look at that. See that? You don't give the psychic a chance to cut your legs out from under you. Doesn't mean we won't be honest with you. Because if you said, am I going to meet somebody, tell me who I'm likely to meet in the next 2.5 years. Notice that's not a yes or no. If I didn't see anybody for you, I'd say, I don't see anybody important. I don't see anyone that you would want to be long-term. So to me, that means you need to fall in love with yourself first.
Yes.
And try these people out. because you may not be ready. Sorry, wrong pipe. You may not be ready for the permanent relationship. Universe is not mean. It'll get you the right person, but you have to be ready for them.
Yeah, exactly. Like that person could be walking past you 100 times. You grew up with them, but at that time you weren't ready for them. And some people go, "Well, I grew up with him and I knew him." Yeah, but you're not that person that you were back then, and that other person is not. You know, you guys have grown up, so it makes a difference. So yes. Are there any questions that you won't answer if somebody comes to you?
Mm-hmm. What's my purpose?
Sorry, for some reason
what's my purpose?
Oh, what's my purpose?
Why am I here?
Oh, I know what my purpose is.
But the thing is, when people ask that, what if the psychic says, "Oh, I see that you should have been really good at math and been an electrical engineer, and you can't add 2 and 2 and you're a ballerina." What are you supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
The way I help people figure out what they're here to do is I've got something called your Sentence of Passion consultation. And there, I'm going to work with you, and you've got 2 pages of questions that may seem very disjointed and not related. But by the end of your answering those, and then you and I work with them, we can hone in on what it is that you really want to do. For instance, my purpose is not to be a psychic. My sentence of passion is cross the bridge from fear to fearlessness and fly. When I can take somebody from point A to point B, when they thought they couldn't make it, tap them on their shoulder, say, "Here are your wings, you don't need a flight plan, now get." I am living my purpose and my passion, but I've done it in a number of careers: actress, author, inspirational speaker, video producer, legal assistant, comic book writer, executive recruiter, psychic. As long as I was helping people find ways to fly, as long as I was helping them put their fear behind them, I was living my purpose.
Yeah.
But I only discovered that in my 40s when I looked back and saw how I had lived my life. So that's why a psychic doesn't know you. You know you, and you're the one that needs to crack your life open like a nut and see what's inside.
Very true. Some nuts are better left uncracked. I have a question in the chat room. Ariana Chen, can you read Akashic records or other timelines you might want to switch into?
I'm not sure what you mean by other timelines. If you mean parallel universes and things like that, haven't ever done it. When I do past lives, it's in my soul plan reading, or sometimes it's quite fast. The universe will always use the tools at hand. For instance, I have a slight benign tremor in my hand, like Katharine Hepburn did. Doesn't mean anything's wrong, but I can't use a pendulum because I can't trust the answer.
Yeah.
I was a history major, theater major. I'm a writer. My husband's a historian. So when I go look at past lives, I can see the details and I can put them in historical context. It's not a big hat and a long skirt. It's a hobble skirt with a picture hat and a certain kind of ostrich feather. Boom, Berlin, 1912. And the universe knows that because I can see these details and run them like a movie, I can give you better, more useful past life information. So am I pulling it from the Akashic for you? Yes, I am. But I don't read who you're going to be in the future, and I don't look at other timelines. My specific focus is, what are you stumbling on here now that information on a past life can help you uproot and get rid of?
All right, sorry, I was having sound issues on my end. So, and Ariana says, "Yeah, parallel worlds."
Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Next Gen, they all do that. Star Trek Enterprise. Look at the Time Wars. They do it better than I do. They really do. Do I believe we've got them? Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
The universe does not fit inside a matchbox. But that's not necessary. Who you are in universe Zorch, totally different experiences, totally different lessons you need to learn. So if I follow through on the timeline for Earth, that's how your karmic lessons are macrameed on this particular strand. That's what I feel will be most useful to you. The other is kind of like, let's go see a movie. It's cool, but sorry, you're not going to live at Hogwarts.
Yay. Oh, dude. Well, okay, maybe not Hogwarts.
Sorry.
Yeah, Kathy says that would be great to learn. This is, oh, thank you, Scott. Scott says, you sound fine, but a bit of an echo with you. Issues.
Is he having an echo with me or with you, Mama D?
No, with me. You're
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
My guess is always perfect. It's me that's always wrong.
It's probably your weather, because right now we have clear.
Yeah, like I said, I can say without a doubt that every show I have done, and I've done this since 2015, every show without a doubt, I've had some kind of glitch on. So I'm just kind of sort of used to it.
Okay. Okay.
So long as everybody else can hear you, then that's fine. They can hear me. Well, hey, if not, it's not too bad. Okay. Now you do tarot readings, but you also use oracle cards.
Yep.
Do you have a preference, or does that depend on what the person asks?
Each deck, when I get it, it tells me what they want to be used for. For instance, a standard tarot deck is what I use for what I call the everyday tour bus. House, card, job, kids. Okay, God, you put me here. I need some clues. But you want to ask me about relationships, I use this deck, which is by John Gray. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Ooh,
if you think you really need to be hit upside the head with a clue brick to make some serious spiritual change, then I pull out this deck, which is the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. It is not your ootsy cutesy fairies. It marches inside your head, rips up the floor tiles, and gives you homework. If you are in a situation where you need a great deal of compassion and self-kindness to figure out what's going on, I use this wonderful new deck called Wisdom of Lord Ganesha. And that's my favorite oracle deck right now. And I've even got a kids deck. It's cat wisdom, and it shows cute little kittens.
Oh,
Because,
nice.
well, look, if you're going to read publicly, while you may not read kids normally, if a little 7-year-old Brittany is sitting with mom, she says, I want to pull a card, and mommy says, oh, let her. Right, the kid's going to pull from the tarot and go, oh, look, Brittany, the card is death. Yeah, you're not going to do that with a kid. But when you pull a card, you have a special children's deck, and it pulls a little card that says, make friends. That's not going to scare the kid. So that's part of being a professional, prepared for anything to keep you and your client safe. And I think she froze. Not sure. All right. I don't know if it's just because she froze. If I'm here, guys, I'm going to stay with it. I'll talk as long as we need to talk. Some of the other decks that okay. It says live, so I'm assuming that we're going live. Let me talk to you a little bit about some of the other things that I work with. There's another book that I wrote before Yellow Brick Road, and it's called Clean Out Your Life Closet. Now, I don't care who you are. You have bought one self-help book in your life. I know you have. We all do. There you are. How's your sound, Mama D?
Sound so far is good.
Good. All right. I was just continuing on.
Thank you very much. This is thank you. Just if I disappear again, keep it up.
Okay. What I was telling you about is the book that came before Psychic Yellow Brick Road called Clean Out Your Life Closet. And it's about 4 things: clarity, adaptability, simplicity, and making friends with stress. You think maybe you can use it during the big bug adventure? I think so. And that in Canada, you can get Kindle. You can also get it. I did an audiobook for it. And again, I know someone up there that has a few of that, and I can put you in touch with her. If you're in Canada, if you're in the States, you can order it from Amazon. The whole point is, I don't tell you what to do because I haven't lived your life, just like what we talked about. Each chapter in the book is, here's some of the stupid things I did. Here's some of the stuff that my clients did, and here's some of the stuff we discovered. And at the end of each chapter is where the magic lives. You've got open-ended questions that you answer according to what your life experience is. You take what I wrote, make it fit your life. You do that, and you do it with every chapter. By the end of the book, that is your personal manual. Your buddy would read it differently. It's because I trust my readers. And I haven't seen that with any other self-help book. It seems to work.
Well, okay, so we're having thunder, yes, and I'm getting confirmation on that one as well. So
Okay.
I'm putting myself into as a backup, so that if it happens again, I can go by phone, because I love StreamYard. This process, the platform that I'm using, is because now we can do it on our mobile apps. You
That's
don't
good.
have to do. Okay, come here, darling. Okay, yes, people, you know how things are going here with me. So
Mercury is retrograde. Everybody will forgive you everything.
I know. Plus, I think most everybody's kind of sort of used to me and my silliness with my inflammation. Okay, yes, she's back. And Ashley said that's the book that she wants. And there's something else Ashley wrote. I commented, the thunder just ripped through our village in a big way. Mega storage brewing here, but we aren't giving up. We got Corbie and we're holding on.
Actually, you're a riot.
Here you go. She's a doll. She is. I love her dearly. Oh, hold on a second. And we've got Eric Glenn. Whoop, whoop. Someone else who reads previous life experiences and just how it intersects with the sitter and not a ramble down the multi-generic timelines. Teddy is quite excited with Corbie's attitude.
Who's Teddy? Is that his channel?
That is his guide. And he has had Teddy's a very interesting person. And he met Eric in the bathroom. Eric was showering, and Teddy came in to meet him in the bathroom, and then Eric threw him out. Eric is an amazing medium from the UK. I love him dearly,
and he's staying up late for me.
And he's staying up late. Yes,
I got so many friends in the UK.
I know. Eric and Scott are my late people.
Gotcha.
I'm sure there's a few other people in there. Yes, Judith loved thunderstorms too, but not when I'm on the air. You couldn't have waited, just like. But hey, I love the storms, and they all stop.
They are. But Eric, I think you and I probably agree the same way. If we were supposed to remember all our past lives, we would. But the problem is to find out who you were, because we've all been saints, we've all been sinners, we've all been the murderer, we've all been the victim. You'd sit down with a tub of popcorn and watch. You wouldn't be living. Which is why if someone says, I don't know, just tell me one. It's like, no, I'm not going to. Thank you very much. Just don't screw with me that way. So we're not entertainment.
Hold on.
Boy, God really liked that one. We're not entertainment.
Yeah, I know. Oh, we've got, and here we have another part of the UK. It's my little Scott, also in England. In Scots, Corbie is a raven, the messenger bird. I can see your name is slightly different, but you are a messenger too. Yes, she is.
Scott, I deliberately chose Corbie. That's how I was taught to spell it, so somebody maybe misspelled. Because ravens are my baby birds. They are my guides. And Mitleid is actually the German word that means compassion, to remind me why I do the work. So bullseye. Good on you.
Yeah. Well, Scott, and as Eric said, Scott and Eric are part of the Rambling Mediums team. When I had my show on another platform, I had three guys, Scott, Eric, and Michael Rogers, all three from the UK. And when those gentlemen were on my show, they would sit there and they would do their thing, and I would just sit in the background. I didn't have to talk. And at the time, it was a 2-hour show. I didn't talk for like pretty much 2 hours, just like 3 books. They're sweet.
That's great fun. That's great fun.
It
So,
is, and that's all it is. That's what we used to do when we had the rambling mediums. Because Scott was a shy one in the beginning. He used to read people when the show was off air. He'd have messages for them. He goes, "Tell me when the show's over. I have a message." And now I'm gonna stop doing that. You're gonna do it live now, you big goony bird.
so
And then when he would give me a hard time, their wives would smack them for me.
that's all right. Mediumship is always a fascinating thing to me. People who just pull it down, amazing. The best medium I
There
ever
he
knew
is.
was the late great Allie Cheslick. We still call her Chatty Cathy of the Dead 3 years after she's gone, because she is. The way I ended up doing mediumship was a little different. I don't know why, but it's how my guides work it. I get people's dog tags. For instance, my father, Jerome Richard Dorkin, who died in 2001 at the age of 80, doesn't tell me anything, gets me right into the energy. And then what happens is it's almost like charades, which I did not invent, but the guides do it. This is a heart attack. This is an accident. This is smoking. This is weed. This is, they had this thing about eating. Sometimes they'll jingle keys in their pocket. And that way we get some really personal things. But I will never do mediumship at a gallery setting, and this is why. And I'm going to use the language because this is not network television. In Canastota, New York, many years ago, I had a client sit down. She was part of a biracial same-gender couple. Her black partner had died. She was the white widow. She wanted to speak to her. She gave me the information. And mind you, I grew up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I'm a nice person with manners. What comes floating out of my mouth in flawless urban ebonics was, "Well, shit, it ain't my white bitch." And I'm going, and the woman in front of me is laughing and crying and doing this and going, "It's Isabel, it's Isabel," because that's how her partner would walk into the house after every business trip. You can't do that in public.
Yeah, no. Sometimes it just doesn't.
So, and very often it will be an intense conversation, closure that needs to happen because
Yeah.
I let them channel right through me. So those that can do public mediumship, I am in awe of. My guides did not set me up with those kind of filters.
Yeah, Eric's guy Teddy. He has he has very interesting vocabulary too, but Eric has been able to sort of filter it a bit. So because I've heard some of the stuff that he's said sometimes. Okay, Kathy. Okay, quick one here. Hey, Haggis. Judith, mine too, Corbie. I have a raven necklace designed for me 20 years ago. Love me some raven magic. I have a friend who's afraid of ravens. I think ravens are beautiful.
It depends on what part of the world. Now, if you can see it here, see down the bottom, see the little one in the middle? That's Ma Feathers. She's my chrysanthemum stone raven. She always sits on my desk when I work. It depends on your background. In the UK, she's the Morrigan. She is the goddess of war and death. There's a great young adult fantasy series, the Young Wizard series. A Wizard Abroad deals with the entire Celtic pantheon, and the Morrigan is there, and she's brilliant. On the other hand, if you go to Washington State, British Columbia, you're dealing with the Haida, the Tlingit, all of the First Nations people on the west coast of America and Canada. There, Raven is their version of coyote. Raven is the one that brought the sun and the moon and the stars and fire to humans, and there they adore Raven.
Yeah.
So the only time you should be scared of an animal is if it's going to attack you. But Raven is in so many people's mythology, but it depends on how it's viewed.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Nothing to be scared of.
Drew and Kathy, here we go. Sorry, the comments rolled up. So I'd love to know some past lives. Is there a way to teach that ability? No popcorn.
Oh, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. There are two things. There is past life retrieval, which is what I do. And then there's past life regression. Regression is when a hypnotherapist or a past life specialist brings you into your past lives, wandering around in the Akashic. Now, There is a woman, I believe her name is Linda Backman, and I'm putting that in live comments. And I believe she runs the Raven Heart Center, and that's in Colorado. She teaches how to be a past life hypnotherapist. She teaches how to get the past lives. There are other people that do teach it, but the thing that I would tell you is you really do want to work with a certified hypnotherapist when you're exploring, because sometimes you may come up in a very difficult situation. You watch yourself murdered. You see yourself murdering somebody. It's a gang rape, something awful. A certified hypnotherapist is going to be able to pull you out so that you can watch it, but it doesn't hit you emotionally. If there's someone who doesn't know how to do that, you're going to relive that, and that could do you a lot of emotional damage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just, I must have been Anne Boleyn because I can't wear turtlenecks, kids. It is. Oh, I've had that. So yes, remember, one of my things is you can do what I do, but learn to do it right. I believe it is the ravenheartcenter.com. I'm going to.
I just put it. I put it in because you're putting it into the private messages. So as you put into the private messages, because that's the only thing about this is typing into here.
Yeah.
If you're typing it into here, you're typing it into the YouTube chat room, which right now is all of our questions are coming from Facebook. So I just sort of quickly copy them and put them into the banners and create banners for them.
Okay.
Okay. As talking about a hypnotherapist, here is Scott Stephen, who is certifiable. He's a certified hypnotherapist. As a hypnotherapist, sometimes past life is more of a descriptive way for the subconscious to describe a change needed for the person rather than the actual life where their face and voices change. Is it the same for your cards, do you think?
Possibly. When I read my cards, I do some deep dish. All right, let's look at an entrepreneur's spread. Okay. I am not someone to flip 3 cards and say, wait until September and fire the redhead. It's a card for them, a card for the energy around the business, a card for the brick and mortar location, how to market it, clients, competition, staff, finances, what they need to know, and best possible outcome. It is intuitive counseling. The past lives, all I can tell you is when I get these things, I'll give you an example. There was a woman who wanted to know why she was so attached to World War II and so overprotective of her son. Well, I was able to download a past life, Utah Beach. She was one of the people that was leading the charge on D-Day, and her son was the son of a friend who it was in her battalion, badly wounded. She got him out of there. He made it back to the United States alive. And so there was always, the kid always said in World War II, you saved my life. I couldn't live without you. And when I opened my eyes and told and the woman was looking at me and her face was white, she said, my son's nickname for me has always been Sarge, and we didn't know where he got it. I don't know how I do this stuff. I'm a tool, man. In
a good way.
Seriously, when John Holland has always said, we're the tube. Because when you start believing that your aura don't stink, that you're this wonderful person who does all that, I guarantee you, universe is going to go. For one thing, you're going to lose a lot of energy because you can't feed it from your own self. You're a battery and you run down. When you are just the tube, it just runs through you, and you can do it for hours and hours and hours, knowing that the energy and the purpose is coming from the folks upstairs.
Yep. Yeah. There's, I don't know if Eric Glenn is still here, but his grandmother was also a very big psychic medium in her day. Mm-hmm. She had 2 rules. There's no, first off, she always says there's no wrong way to work with spirit, because it's all, because it's always right. But the other one is you are not the star of the show, spirit is. That's rule number one. And rule number two is if you forget that, go back and read Nellie's rules. Go back and read rule number one. You are not the star. And I'm probably misquoting him, but Nellie is his grandmother, and but that's the thing. And that's what a lot of people forget is that it's like, it's like they'll come to you and go, I need the winning lottery tickets, numbers. Everybody wants the winning lottery, but it's not something that, you might get 3 out of 2. I mean, 2 out of 3. But that's not what they're there for. That's not what mediums and psychics are there for. They're to help you, for you to get better. And giving you the bajillion-dollar winning lottery numbers is not going to help you get better.
What I always say is me first. And if your psychic isn't at least driving a Lexus, how do you know they know? You don't. So they're better things to ask us. Trust me.
Yes. Okay. Here I am. One of my passions is I want to create a deck of cards. And every time I keep thinking about it, there's always somebody keeps saying, no, it comes to me that there's three different decks come out, and I'm sitting there going, I can't come up with one, never mind. Or be a writer. I write a book. I don't do books. I do this. I don't write. So if somebody, I'm coming to you and I go, what's my block with trying to create my deck? So if somebody wants to know what their block is, aside from being a cat and wanting to do a whole bunch of things at one time.
Looking at my oracle decks, I'll see which one lights up a little bit.
Okay.
And for that one, it would either be the Fairies Oracle or Ganesha, depending on whether the person really needed to beat themselves up or they need to be a little kinder. So, are you literally asking the question?
Sure. Let's literally ask the question.
All right.
Okay, Eric Green Jones. Number 1, you are not the star, spirit is. Number 2 is if you think you're as good as this medium stuff, reread rule number 1.
Gotcha. All right, kiddo. The Fairies Oracle came up for you. So here's how we do it.
I'm getting rid of the 2x4.
Yep. I'm picking 7 cards.
Ooh.
All right. Well, that's the number in the spread. So the first card is called the Trickster. If you remember your fairy tales, there was always that little light at the end of the forest, and the big stupid human would go galumphing and get lost.
Yes.
Well, this is the card that's saying to you, Mama D, so good to see you. Sit down, grab your beer. We want to talk to you. It's what's bringing you into the challenge. And the challenge for you is Dawn Breaks Over Marblehead. This is the card of enlightenment. Sometimes when you say, I'm supposed to be so enlightened, I'm supposed to know all this stuff, why can't I get out of my own way? Well, we're going to find that out. The next card is the Mask and Shadow. We all wear masks, facets of our personality, and sometimes one gets stuck and becomes an excuse. Whatever this quality is, you overuse it. You need to revise it, revamp it, or dump it. Neil is the alchemist. You always try to turn lead into gold. You always try to fix for people. You always try to take tough stuff and make it work. Well, in this case, sometimes a dirty pool is a dirty pool. You say you're supposed to do a deck. Where in the Tudlika does it say you're supposed to do a deck?
No, I want to. Yeah,
you want to do. All right. Why do you need to take something that's blocked and keep working it? Look at the idea of what a deck would be about. Move it out that way. Okay, whether it's an app, whether it's a cookbook, whether it's stones, whether it's sheaves of I don't care what it is. But don't get so hung up on the idea it has to be a deck.
Yeah.
Next is called the offering. Whenever you play with the fairies, they always want something, so they have filched this from your pocket and they're making for the 401 with it. Kiss it goodbye. Honesty. Sometimes what you do, I don't know where that's coming from. That's fascinating.
Yeah, that's stuffing. Wow. I'm liking that. Sorry.
That's all right. Sometimes you can be too honest with things. We all know we want to be honest with you because it's what you need, but some people sometimes need dancing around it. So they want to give you this instead, and that's the Singer of Healing. What that tells me right there is that it is going to be important for you, if you're going to do this deck, to do a very compassionate one.
Yes.
The way I feel about the Ganesh deck. Okay? So they're not saying you're not going to do the deck, but they're going to say, please reimagine its core purpose.
Okay.
The next card is called the question. I just look at this and channel from the fairy what they want to ask you. You don't answer it now. It's homework, but I will not remember, so just know that. Ecstasis. That's what I call the Fran Drescher card. If you remember Fran Drescher and the nanny, she'd always do this.
Nanny.
Right. So what they want to know is, where did joy run to? When you find where it's hiding, is it a partner or is it a slave? And how do you expect to do anything without 100% joy? This is the fairy that's going to help you with that. And that's Lace to Moon's daughter. She is the one who did the footy prints in the very beginning of the reading. So she's saying, yes, you can follow that dream if you listen to what we talked about. This is called the marking of the world. This is what will mark your passage in the world to tell you you've mastered the challenge. Whoa, you become the master maker. Apprentice, journeyman, master. Notice the master can stand on one foot. He's got that spear of light and being in creation, and he's just so casual because he knows he's got it handled in a New York minute. So, does that all make sense to you?
Yes and no. So I'm going to have to go re-listen to myself. And as much as I hate re-listening to my own voice, I'm going to be re-listening to this.
That's fine. You see, that's an example of, I couldn't tell you what I just did for you. It's here.
Yeah, no, understand.
Because when you're so busy saying, is she going to understand? Is she going to? That's your ego getting in the way. So there is a deck for you, but I think you need to fiddle with the tuning of it.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's why I say there's been 3 different ideas roaming through my head. And
now for that, I'd say let's pull tarot. What are the 3 ideas? Real fast.
Inspirational, an oracle, and an ABC. They're all on basically the same line as inspirational, but
inspirational. That one, there she is again. I guess it's green screens.
Yeah, but I don't know why, because it's not on. So go ahead.
It's okay. Well, this is the Queen of Wands card, which means that an inspirational deck is going to just take over your life. Like, you know, your aura don't stink. Do the way I say. And you're going to have a little bit of control to write an inspirational deck. The next one was Oracle.
Yep.
So many out there, I wouldn't advise it. That's the Bitchcraft card. And then this one was ABC.
Yep.
No.
Okay.
No. So it's the inspirational deck, but you're going to have to wrestle her 2 falls out of 3 so that you know exactly what you're doing. My dear friend Bernadette Carter King with the ARC deck ended up with 100 cards in the deck and more decks and more decks and more decks because the animal allies were just saying, "This we want."
Yes, yes, I have her deck, and I love it.
Freaking awesome!
It is
freaking awesome.
And I do share her deck. So if anybody doesn't know, go on to what's it, Mama D, Angel and the Butterfly Network, somewhere on Facebook. I think that's the name of this page. And I do share her daily card there. So I think, because I think she's good. I love the deck. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's click on.
Come on. Hello, Manfred. Come on.
Hi, Manfred. It's like I want to be on
Maine Coon.
I love Maine Coons. I think my cat is half Maine Coon, but because he's a skunk. Okay, Scott Stevenson. I am glad I have seen so many American TV programs with characters that like that cake baker and a medium with the hair, because when Corbie relaxes into her work voice rather than her Poshford voice, there's such a change.
I was a theater major. I've done voiceovers.
You should hear some of her accents. Oh my God, they're adorable.
I can move cats. I can do professional progressive FM radio. We're the best of them. And sometimes you need to do that. When I'm doing the readings, yes, it's in your face.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's very New York, which people frankly find very funny.
You
But
did, what did you do on the last show that I was on? I think it was Zoltov or something like that. You did a,
oh, when I kid around about the fake gypsies, it's, oh, you
yes.
have a family cars. How many in your family? 4. You have dog? $50 every family member, 25 for dog. We fix. Yeah, not happening.
Oh, no, yeah, no, I love that one. Yes,
So
love her accents too. Haggis Hunter, yes, cat, cute. No, you can't have him. Haggis Hunter is actually in Scotland, and he does hunt haggis. No, he doesn't.
actually, my other Maine Coon, the great big guy, is from England. He was a gift to me. Watched him born on Skype. But in the first 10 days, he was the smallest guy in the litter. And I said to the breeder, hey, Steph, how come I'm getting the shrimpy guy? And she goes, oh, no, over here we call them prawns. So he became the prawn. He's now 22 pounds and the size of a beagle.
Oh my God, I like that. It's cool that you got to see him born on Skype. That's so cool.
Yeah, I was the attending physician.
She's like, push, push.
Come on, little fella. Get out of here.
Oh,
So, who else has stuff? Surely there are more questions. This is too
there
much
are more,
fun.
there's a lot of silliness going on. Gina's here, and she says, by the way, she says she loves your hair and she loves your accents, and she can't type because she actually said live your accents.
Ah!
Well,
I see that. I don't know if you could know. The main sign is covered, but that's the supervisor's office. That's where the
yes.
cats usually sleep during the day. So anyway, believe it or not, this is only about half the hair I used to have. I did the cancer dance 3 times, and half of it went away through hormone stripping and all of that stuff. But for 65, it's not bad. I really can't complain.
Oh gosh, girl, you do not look it whatsoever, and you
2
do.
magic words. No children takes 10 years off your looks right there. Trust me.
I've got 3, but I still can do it.
So
Yeah, it's now it's the 2 furry ones that give me the most stress. Okay. Love you guys. Finish watching later. Well, we're almost done, Gina. We'll be done in 10 minutes ish. Better not let Helen see this. She's desperate for one of those cats. Oh, I'll tell her.
where is Helen based?
They're in Scott. Where are you in the UK? Nottingham, something over there.
All right. I got my kitty from the woman is in Northampton, I think.
Northwest, sorry?
Northampton.
Okay.
There is also I know so many breeders over there. If you're serious, write me. I'll go look on the map. I'll see who I know, because I only talk with people who really care about breeding Maine Coons right. I will not send you to a backyard breeder. No.
I'm being yelled at.
Don't I dare what, Scott?
Talk to his wife. You know I love Helen. So.
Maine Coons are little dogs in cat suits. They're wonderful.
Well, he has a giant fur ball, and he lives in Somerset.
Mm-hmm.
He has a giant fur ball dog, and he's blind. And we'll figure out a way to get Helen together.
Okay.
And what kind of dog is it you have? Shush! Stop yelling at me.
What?
Okay.
Me? Him? We don't have dogs. We have cats.
No, Scott does. He's got a giant, and it's a blind dog, and it's so just one big ball of fluff. And I'm sure that he'll come up with it.
Sounds almost like a Samoyed. Maine Coons love dogs. They're big enough to play with.
Yes, and it would be a guide cat for the dog.
Yes,
an Akita, a 54-kilo Akita.
Oh, Akitas are lovely. They really are.
So adorable. Okay, Ashley. Oh, I believe that I have earned a gray stripe since having my little lady join on my life's journey. She's got a cat too. Yeah, cats are great. I love cats. Dogs are great too. Don't get me wrong. I love dogs too. But and I have. We're going off Corbie, but I have an orange ginger, and I found him. I fed him. He was like this big when I found him. He was out in the back because we live in a country and there's a lot of stray cats. He was a tiny little thing sitting in the palm of my hand. I fed him. I bathed him. I took off all the little nasty little the bits there, fleas and whole bit. But he's my son's cat. My son can take this cat, flip him upside down, and do walking on the ceiling, wrap him around his neck like a scarf. I scratch him for 2 minutes, and he's like, okay, go away. But he loves me when it comes time for food.
Of course. Food is God for every cat in the world.
Exactly. Scott's going, shh, the pair of you.
Sorry, my nickname is Mom Cat, Scott.
There you go.
So there you go.
Okay, hold on a second. Jill, where did you say she was going to be later for a reading, or what will she be doing later? What was that again?
bestpsychicdirectory.com. And again, there, if you go on there, just bestpsychicdirectory.com, put in the search Corbie Mitleid, and you can pick me up from there. And, you know, like I say, if you need a 5-minute reading, just do a 5-minute reading. We'll get it done as fast as we can. Now,
Yeah.
I am in New York, all right? So think of it for Eastern time zone.
Yeah, and I know that you get a lot done. Because, I mean, look what you did for me. I wasn't expecting it, and it was, but you went 7 cards, and it was like in a flash. So I will have to go back and listen to myself. I didn't pay attention to the timeline, but
that's okay.
I have to go back and listen to the whole thing. And that's what some people don't realize, is that for all the readings that you do, whether it's oracle, mediumship, psychic, blah, 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 you don't remember them all. And it's like, could you imagine keeping all that stuff in your brain for the amount of readings that you've done? I don't understand how people think. Do you
we
remember
need to
that reading from me?
Core dump, because otherwise you're going to get a bleed through from the last person I read.
Yeah.
So
it is as much as like, it's like for me, somebody will have to, when I do readings, somebody will bring up, you read me this, you saw this card, and I might remember how it was, because for me, each card changes. Card can change depending on the time of day. And
you know, it's like you get to meet Elton John at a concert and you say, remember 5 years ago when you were playing the O2 Arena? I was 4 from the back and you waved at me. Not, no, I'm sorry, darling. It is not going to be in Elton's head.
Oh, God.
So.
Very true. Okay, Haggis loves cats, and he would love a rag doll.
Raggies are fun. Raggies are fun, and beautiful cats. Beautiful cats.
Okay. Jill says she's in Pennsylvania, so that's the same time zone.
Good. Okay.
Ooh, I like your face. See that? It's like
Avatar.
Avatar, thank you.
Yep.
I'm so technical, that face thingy. Okay. Are there people that you won't read for?
Oh, yeah.
That you won't read for?
Yeah. The ones who stand in front of my booth at a psychic fair and say, tell me something. Yes, I am, since 1966, Scott. Tell me something you couldn't know about me, and if you're right, I'll have a reading. And I just look at them and say, I'm sorry. I don't roll over and fetch either. And I turn my back and they do not get a reading. You don't respect me, you don't get my time. That's just where it is.
That.
Or, you know, people say, how often should I have a reading? If you come and have a reading with me, and then you come back in a month and you say, I did everything that we talked about, and now things have really shifted, where do I go next? I'd read you. But if you come to me once a year, and every year it's the same stuff, and I remember saying to you the same stuff, after your 3rd time, I'm like a good bartender. I cut you off. You're wasting my time and your money.
Very true.
And if you ask the wrong kind of, swear to God, this happened. It's another one of the Kitchener shows. The woman sits down and says, I want to know where my husband is sleeping with his mistress. I said, I'm sorry, I don't do remote spying. Oh, well, how many people has he slept with? I'm sorry, Mrs. Cooperson, I don't do remote spying. Oh, well, is he sick? Is he going to leave me his money? And I turn to my front person. I say, Laura, I'm not connecting with Mrs. Cooperson. Please give her money back. I mean, please. We're not a spy service.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry, I guess I didn't realize you were a girl. I don't know why. I just assumed you were a boy. I'm glad. More girls in the room.
Yeah. Oh, and the other one, which every single psychic and medium on here will understand, it's the ones that keep beating us to death. Does Bruce love me? No. Well, is he going to love me? not the way you'd like. Well, if I did such and such, would he love me? No. Well, is he going to call soon? No. Well, if I do this, is he going to call soon? No. How about if I change my number? Will he call then? And they beat on us until we finally go, yes, yes, he loves you and he wants 7 babies with you, but he just doesn't know it yet. Okay.
Oh God, yes. I will not do love readings. I have done a few, not many, online shows, and that's my thing. I don't do love readings because I believe that if that person is meant for you to come, first off, you have to love yourself. And a lot of people who are out there going, I'm looking for Mr. Perfect or Miss Perfect or whatever. Can you look in the mirror and say that that person in front of you is perfect? That everything that they say and do is exactly what you want. And it's
that's why I use the John Gray deck and the 4 and 4. The first 4 things I pull are what you need to bring to the table. The second 4, if the dude or dudette doesn't have them, it's a non-starter. Then we look. I've warned you. You got to bring this in, or it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So clue brick.
It's true. Everybody needs to pretty much love themselves before they can have somebody else love them. And sometimes I know of people who do not have a partner, be it male or female, and they are so happy by themselves. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to have a partner to be happy. Some people who have partners are like not happy whatsoever. So talk about Helen. Sorry, I had to go a little dig there for Scott. So I will not do love readings. I'm sorry. And most of the things start. Do you find, have you ever, when you've done a reading, mixed spirit with Corbie?
Yes. When someone has cancer.
Okay.
Especially because since I've done the cancer dance 3 times, they need to know.
Yeah.
This is what you can do. These are ways you can do it. When someone is asking me an entrepreneurial or a business question, I'll look at them and say, absolutely, I can read the cards. But for years before I did this full time, I was an executive recruiter for engineering and manufacturing. Would you like my left brain advice as well? And everyone goes, yeah. So that's when they get Corbie, but they know it first and it's offered. And if they say no, zip the lips.
Yeah. Well, it's like, oh, look, my wifey's in the chat room. Okay. I'm sorry. I had a friend I haven't seen in a while. And I've always said I'm not gay. And the only woman I would marry would not be gay. And there she is. She in the chat room. My wifey. No, you just confused me. Laha. Okay. Well, first off, it's 50. Oh my gosh. Time is up. It was great time. Where everybody's getting a view of the cat bathing himself. It's like, hello, people can just go and look me up.
Sorry about that.
Oh, would you? Okay.
At least it's just the front paws.
Yeah, exactly. We're not getting the leg up in there. Hey, Scott, animal communication. Would you pull some cards for a person's pet?
Oh, if the pet asked me a question, yeah. But normally I can just get the pet. I am not a specific animal communicator, though I apparently can do it. But again, if you want a really great animal communicator, I would send you to the woman that I use. Her name is Coriel Kramer. She's out in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah, because all of us have specialties, and if that's your most terrible important thing, just like health questions, Stacy Wells in Arizona, I will send you there because that's also part of being a professional intuitive. You know when you're not the person they need, and you graciously and calmly just say, I'm not your person. Take a look over here. There's room for all of us. Yeah.
And not everybody, not one person can't do everything because you can't do it 100%. I can do this and this, but I'm really good at this. So yeah, and I love Coriel. She was on my show. I'm not sure which one. She was on one of my shows. Love her dearly.
Yeah, she's terrific.
She is. So, well, first off, it's 6 o'clock. It's time to go. Gotta feed people. Ugh. I don't know why we have to feed people. Seriously. The dogs and the cats get fed at 4 o'clock. The rest of us get fed after 6.
Gotcha.
Oh, perfect ding.
Yes.
So thank you very much. Anybody who wants to get a hold of Corbie tonight for a quick reading, go over to Best Psychic Directories.
Directory. Best
Directory.
directory.com and put in my name in the search, and you'll see how to get in touch with me. And there you go.
And you can connect with her. Let them eat cake. Yes, I guess. And you can connect with her on Facebook. And she does do readings once in a while, free live readings once in a while.
Once a month.
Once a month. And the page on Facebook is?
Fire Through Spirit.
Fire Through Spirit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for coming and listening and joining in on the fun and the glitches. See the end of the show and the weather's cleared up and there's no more glitches.
It was great to be back with you.
It was fun. We'll do this again soon. Night, everybody. We'll see you next week.